Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be amidst all of you talking about this important topic, right? I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about Gen AI. I mean, when I thought of this topic, I was thinking, we need to focus it out on talking about what is coming next from a Gen AI. And I'll take a couple of minutes talking about industry use cases, right? And telling where it's actually heading. Every once in a while, right, you come across a new technology, right, that has the potential to disrupt the way industry operates, or for the matter, make a difference in our regular day-to-day, right? Gen AI is one such technology, right? While traditional AI has been there for some time, Gen AI, in its latest version, right, the way it is, has really raked up a lot of excitement. If you look around, how many of you are aware of ChatGPT, right? How many of you have used ChatGPT? If you thought of it, November 2022, right, was the time when ChatGPT came in, and within about 2 months, it already had about 100 million users across the globe looking at ChatGPT. Now, the primary difference between a traditional AI and a Gen AI is that Gen AI kind of replicates, the human touch, right? It has got something in the nature of mimicking a human, and literally it feels like you're conversing with a human being, right? So that's the main thing which makes it novel, right? In terms of when you look at all the excitement that's there in industry, it's primarily around the fact that it feels like you're conversing with another human being, right? When you look at Gen AI. There are primarily around 5 to 6 different modalities, right? I'll call it as modalities, or the way you would experience Gen AI today. Primarily it's text. For example, your ChatGPT is a good example of text, right? Where you can basically look at trying to understand what, you give it anything in terms of in natural language, you ask it a question, and it basically responds back with very good, well laid out, well modulated type of responses, which help you in terms of structuring out any sort of a market research or anything like that. The second variety is primarily code, right? One of my friends in an industry, right, software industry, he laid it out pretty simply. He said an average coder with Gen AI, right, helping with regards to code development, is what will result in superior code. And so Gen AI has the ability to kind of organize, right, also kind of streamline, parse, and also give you better code, right, in terms of options, right, in terms of what you want to adopt. The third one would be primarily picture, right, imagery. When you look at Gen AI, any of the pictures, you would have seen it when you open your Google, right? You start seeing a lot of images that have come from Gen AI. You can basically, when you query it in natural language and basically say what type of image you're looking for, it has the ability to actually throw back a picture which appears to be creative, novel, and it's something which is brand new, right? It doesn't feel like it's something that's been copied from somewhere, right? The fourth is primarily video. Video, when you think of it, you can say that you're looking for a particular type of video, and Gen AI has the ability to kind of convert those pictures and make it a video and give back a video, or further streamline a video and give you a video output, right? It's building on the imagery. The other variety is audio, and that's the beauty of it, where potentially it can actually it can converse in 10 different languages, in different dialects, and all in a matter of few minutes, right? It can actually translate what you're saying in different languages. And the last but not the least, you have it also has got a ability to convert from regular picture to 3D. So when you think of basically converting a whole thing, a two-dimensional picture, into a 3D type of an effect, right? And it's a different advantage. Now, why I call these as modalities is this is how people experience an AI, right? Gen AI today. Now, industry basically has been looking at, and there's been every sector has been trying to figure out how do I leverage each of these modalities for the benefit of changing what we do today, right? And therefore, this understanding of each of these aspects of text, code, right, video, audio, or 3D becomes extremely important because then you know how do you leverage this for growth, for innovation, or for the matter, for actually changing, bringing in optimization, right, in what you do today. And so, what are sectors doing in terms of changing, right? So, there are multiple different examples of people starting to adopt it. For example, if you were to kind of look at call centers, they use the audio ability to further improve the language capabilities across, right? Or for that matter, if you went into pharma industry, they're looking at leveraging on its capabilities to build out various different models, and they're slowly looking at can we accelerate building out a new, let's say for example, a new medicine, right, and actually take it to trials faster, right? If you looked at, for example, if you took, it's also disrupting marketing, supply chain, right? Within each of these, marketing, for example, if you went into the financial services sector, they're moving away from looking at products and they're more focusing on customer because the AI has got the ability to understand customer. And so the focus is now shifting to saying, can I categorize my customer, bring the right type of experience to the customer? So whole of marketing, sales is, there's a potential opportunity to change, right? And then if you looked at some of the sectors that come to my mind is also within the technology sectors, right? They're looking at leveraging this to improve the code. Now, with each of these, there's also, with all this opportunity, there's also the risk. So when we surveyed a lot of organizations, there's all this excitement about Gen AI, but at the end of the day, it's a toddler, right? It's still building out at this point in time. It's learning to walk, right? And when it's learning to walk, there's all this risk that comes out with it. And so most organizations, I would say they're very optimistic, but there's also the thought process around the risks around this particular new technology. And how do they want to kind of bring it up in a very sensible fashion? So what are the various different risks? So organizations see that they do not have the right type of infrastructure to help with this build out. So they're going for off-the-shelf product, right? That's available from third-party providers. Or for the matter, when you look at in terms of talent pool available to kind of train the AI properly, there's the lack of that talent pool which can actually do justice in terms of training out any of the AI. But like any other technology that goes through its phases of awareness, right? Then there's the euphoria, then there is the disappointment that comes in when that technology doesn't meet those particular standards, and then there's the consolidation, and after the consolidation, there's a wide adoption that happens. So when you think of AI, Gen AI, it's going to go through those cycles for sure, but that is going to get crunched, given the awareness that acceptance, the euphoria, the period at which that technology gets adopted is going to be significantly smaller. So what you could expect is 3 to 5 years down the line, this technology, if it really is developed in the right way, will potentially change the way we work on a day-to-day basis. Right? Not that it will take jobs, it is more going to be a case where it's going to create a lot more jobs, and it is also going to kind of provide the opportunity to remove any of the things which are ideally something which take a lot of time, right? Which can potentially be done smarter by an AI. Those type of activities might go out of our jobs, right, in the longer term, if developed well. So the point is that it's a toddler. It replicates, it basically demonstrates the same sort of abilities like a human brain, right? At the end of the day, like a human, it can be trained positively, can be trained negatively. There is the risk there. And of course, if it is trained bad, there could be biases, there could be significant impact in terms of increasing the social divide, right, that exists in the economy today. So when you think of it, there's a need for governing it well. So governments have started, for example, in the US or in EMEA, they've come up with their own regulations around AI to say, how do I build out ethical AI? There's a need to, as when I think of it, young minds, you will be getting into it sooner or later in terms of actually building it out, or for that matter, the way you use it, right? I would encourage each of you to think of it in a way that we are able to kind of build out the right thing to make this a better working world for us, not something to kind of actually damage it further and take it to a place where it's about money and profits, which is impacting people in the longer term, right? It's a matter of perspective. As you kind of you can look at it in any way you want, but at the end of the day, the way you look at things is the way things start changing their shape, and in terms of the way they start appearing to you, right, in the longer term. So I would say, I would encourage you to get a lot more aware about this topic because it's definitely the future for any sort of, let's say, any organization. So it'll be important for you to get aware, right, and start seeing as to how you start applying it in your day-to-day, right, where you get an opportunity. There could be future entrepreneurs sitting in this room who can come up with a wonderful idea. They can make things happen. Or in your jobs where you actually participate and work in various different organizations building out code, or for the matter, using it as an end user. Thank you.